Hello, everyone. It is Friday. That means it's Chat with Mac. We are glad to have every one of you with us. For those of you that have been with us and listening every week, we really appreciate your presence in our little podcast, I think this is. And for those of you that are new to what we do, welcome, welcome, welcome. Nadeem, how's it going, sir?
Oh, it's going great. It's Friday, so Friday's always a good day.
Oh my God, yeah. It's definitely a good day. Definitely a good day. Hey, so let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You were talking a little bit about email encryption. Now, imagine my surprise when I find out that a lot of our emails, um, especially for those of you consumer, not on the enterprise level, aren't encrypted. Uh, so with Microsoft Outlook, us using Outlook, do we have to enable that, or is that something that's automatic?
So, not a lot of people know this. People, try to send confidential information via email, and that is not encrypted. By default, email is inherently a very insecure way to get information to somebody.
Yeah.
And that's why all the compliance requirements, they require encryption for email. When you send an email to somebody, um, especially when you're going between servers, like for example, if you send an email from um, Office 365 to, let's say, somebody on Yahoo or some other service, anybody, any admin on either one of these servers or any hop in between can see what the contents of that email are. So it's clear text. It's almost like in the old days when you have regular phones, anybody could tap into the line and listen into your conversation.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? So that's why none of the compliance standards allow email uh, as without encryption as secure. So the good thing is that most providers out there will give you email encryption without any additional monthly charges. Google has federated with Microsoft 365. So if you have an Office 365 account and you enable email encryption, when you send that encrypted email to somebody on gmail.com, the user on Gmail does not have to do anything special. They just open the email, they'll see a little disclaimer that that email is encrypted. That's it. It's seamless. You don't need to do anything. If the person in Gmail replies back, the reply back is encrypted as well.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. So the barrier to entry that used to be, in the old days, you had to have your public key, your private key, you had to encrypt the email, the other person had to have your public key to decrypt it. We knew it was never going to work. And that's why in the old days, it never really worked well. Now with Microsoft 365, it is a seamless process. If you're using Outlook on your phone or on your PC or wherever, it's seamless. Now we take it a step further. So normally when you send an email and if you want to encrypt it, you have to go through settings and check that little option to encrypt the email. When we set up encryption for customers, we create a rule to, something like if you have the words confidential or encrypted in the subject line, that email will automatically get encrypted, right? So that makes it very easy for users to encrypt email. So for example,
when you put encrypt in the subject line, did I hear that right?
Yeah, and we can choose which words we want. Like we will, so I normally use confidential and encrypted. So if either one of these words are found in the subject line, that email will automatically be encrypted.
Nice.
Right. So if I was to send you an email and I put the word confidential in there, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to find where that option is to encrypt the email. I can just send it to you. It'll be encrypted. It'll be seamless. You'll get a notice in the feature bar that email is encrypted. Even if you had a Gmail account, it will be seamless. You just open it, you reply back, and everything is good. Now, the reason why we make it easy is because we need to transfer confidential information between customers. Like a lot of times customers are sending us passwords, usernames, whatever have you, and those need to be encrypted. And that's why we have this encryption option there so that we can send these people, users, encrypted emails. Now, here's the other side of the thing. If you are staying within the Microsoft ecosystem, then the security risk is very low, with information in an email. The problem happens when an email goes between different providers, right? So when, for example, when an email goes, to Yahoo, or it leaves one entity and goes to another server, that's when issues happen. Um, but other than that, it's seamless now. Most companies use it. Financial companies, or medical offices, places like that. They have to use it. They won't be compliant without it. Uh, but you have to make it easy for users to use it.
Right, right. So if I'm understanding this correctly, and this is a little bit this is slightly concerning, given given that on our regular emails, you know, I don't think a lot of people understand how encryption is needed. I've sent some real sensitive things without even thinking twice about it. Gmail is not encrypted.
I'm not sure if they will let you encrypt email without a fee. I think on the free Gmail you cannot encrypt email, but if you have like the G Suite, a paid Gmail account, then yeah, then it'll be encrypted. But other than that, it's for anything else, it's pretty straightforward.
So as far as Microsoft, you said that this has to be rules based. So they would. I mean, I don't know if you can take us through how that looks like, but how does that work? Where if someone is in Microsoft and they want to put that on, is it simple enough to do, or?
Well, so your IT admin has to enable it. So on the back
Okay.
end, enabling encryption requires a few steps. Microsoft makes it very easy, so you don't have to manage encryption keys unless you want to. They even give you that option because certain enterprises, they have their own encryption keys that they want to use. But if you don't have that requirement, Microsoft makes it very easy to where the system can generate its own encryption keys and do that stuff. It's just probably like, it takes a couple of hours just to get everything configured and then let the changes replicate through the system, and then boom, it's in place. um, uh, for us, it takes a little bit extra time just because we want to put those extra transport layer rules in there. So when certain keywords are found in the subject line, we want to automatically encrypt emails. And that's just an ease of use type things. The easier you make it for users to use it, the more users will use it. And that's where we're trying to get to. Now, one thing with encrypted emails, it comes up is if you're using the built-in app in your iPhone or your iPad, encrypted emails will not work. You'll have to click on a link and go through the website to see the encrypted email. You will not be able to see the contents of an encrypted email. But if you're using Outlook on your iPhone or iPad, encrypted emails will be seamless. You don't have to do anything extra.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. I just find it interesting considering in this current landscape where you would, I would think it would be something that would be given as part of an everyday, usage. Especially if you're, sending emails to, let's say you're trying to get a loan or whatever the case may be.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, you want to have that encrypted. Now, well, a lot of people still don't do this, but it's the loan company, the bank that's giving you the loan, who should require encryption. I've seen some banks will do that. Some loan companies will do that. They will say, hey, I need this information, but here's a link. Here's a secure link. You can send this document to me securely. But then there are some places where they'll just say, oh, send it to me. And then you send it to them and encrypted. It was like, oh well, it was encrypted. I couldn't open it for whatever reason. Can you send it to me in in a regular email? And it's like,
Yeah,
no, I don't want
right. I
that.
don't want to send all my, confident information in a regular email, but I've seen that. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why, I was like, okay, that's a little bit much. I mean, you've seen, what I find interesting about what you're saying is that you're seeing that they're doing messaging to message encryption, like who does WhatsApp, WhatsApp. So I don't understand how email hasn't become something that's a everyday use. I was very surprised when you told me like, hey, no Gmail. I was like, oh my god, that's scary because I mean I send a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to be clear, when you send an encrypted email from Microsoft 365 to Gmail, that email, and if you've encrypted it, will be encrypted, and the reply back will be encrypted as well. But Gmail does not have the option, the free Gmail account does not have the option to start an encrypted message to somebody. So the reply, that's actually being handled by Microsoft. So when you send an encrypted email to somebody on Gmail, that email and the reply back, that whole thing, that whole chain is encrypted by Microsoft. If you're on a paid Google email account, then yes, you can encrypt it similar to, to how Microsoft does it. But the free account now, it's not. There's no option for encryption in there.
Well, that's good to
Yeah,
know. So
yeah,
for those of you that are using Gmail as a business email account, you might want to reconsider because
yeah.
especially if you're sending a bunch of sensitive stuff, that might not be it.
Yeah, yeah, and if you I mean, I've even seen some doctors' offices that send emails and ask for patient information just in plain emails. That's a big no-no. If if the authorities find out, they'll get they won't be in compliance, so they'll get fined, and usually it's a pretty hefty fine. But then I've also seen some offices, doctors' places where they'll say, yeah, let them fine us, we'll just pay the fine. So some people are like, we'll just pay the fine. It's like, come on, guys, it's the compliance is there because people weren't doing it right to begin with, and now you're saying, "Oh, I'll just pay the fine." It's like it doesn't make sense to me.
No, that doesn't make
But in this
sense at
day and
all.
age, encryption is so easy. It shouldn't be something that you have to even think about. Just do it. I mean, if you're in doubt, encrypt the message.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and I think just by this conversation now, I need to look at some of the stuff I send because yeah, that's a little scary.
So just to extend on this a little bit, another thing to consider is when you're sending SMS text messages, they're not encrypted. Text messages are not encrypted. iMessages are encrypted.
Hold on, really?
Yes. So when you see that little blue text message, that's an iMessage. That is encrypted. But the green text message on your iPhone, the green one, that is not encrypted. And that is why for using, when you're
Hmm.
using MFA, you're supposed to not use text message because that is not encrypted, and that's already been known to be compromised. So you should not use SMS as a second
I
factor.
I have to look at my phone and look at some of my messages to
Yeah.
see. I'm an Android user. I'm a loyal Android user, so I don't know if. Oh my.
So yeah, Android, it's standard SMS. They use the SMS standard, which is not encrypted. What Apple did is they took the standard SMS protocol and they tweaked it to make it encrypted, and they made it their own. That's what Apple does, right? They take something that is like open source, a standard, modify it, make it their own, and then sell it,
Right.
right?
But then sell it. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. So if you want to send a message, something like a WhatsApp, which is encrypted, would be the best way to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Use a third party app that will encrypt messages, or just use email and encrypt your email. Send it as an encrypted email. But yeah, in this day and age, you definitely want to do that. There's I mean, there's there's like wide nets that have been thrown out just to capture unencrypted information flowing back and forth, and you'll be amazed at millions and millions of messages that are flying, back and forth between servers that are not encrypted when they should be. And then people, when they get compromised, they're like, well, I don't know how somebody got this password, or and it's like, yeah, go through your mailbox and see how many messages are in there that have information that the bad guys would want. So yeah, always encrypt your message. If you're in doubt, just encrypt it. Just be safe. And it's free. At the end of the day, it's a free thing that most providers are offering. So why not do it?
That's good information to know. Now I know.
And one of the other things that works hand in hand with encryption and rights management in Microsoft 365, and I won't go down this rabbit hole, I'll just mention it, is you can, with rights management, you can have your documents restricted as well. So for example, you might have a Word document shared from SharePoint or your OneDrive that you disable the option for people to print it, or you expire it after a certain amount of time. So, and that's good. And I've used this before where I want a certain document to be expired after a certain amount of time. So I can, I can send it to somebody, and then I can say expire in 10 days. After 10 days, if they try to open that same document, they won't be able to see anything in it.
Yeah.
It's automatically expired. So that comes in handy as well if you want to put a timestamp on something and expire it after a certain time. But yeah, all these features are, most of these features are free. So, check with your IT admins, check with your MSPs, get these things in place, and let your users know how to use them. It's an easy thing to do, and it'll if you're going through any audit or anything, your auditors will be happy that you have this in place.
That's correct. And another thing is that if you don't know what to do, send us an email. We'll help.
Yeah, yeah, and Mac is not saying that just to sell you something. We don't charge for email, so if you email us, we respond back, no charge. So
no charge. Yep.
Yeah, it's on us. So I think we'll call it a day with that. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm gonna catch up on some sleep, but other than that, it's been a great week. I mean, we've done so much this week, and next week is going to be even better.
Next week is going to be real busy for you. You got a lot going on.
Awesome. Have a good one, Mac.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.